Welcome to another episode of the People, Passion, and Purpose podcast. We basically want to bring stories of women and put the spotlight on them, give their stories a voice, and make sure that more and more voices come to the whole party, right? So, that is the whole idea, and we've been doing it for the last 2 years. And this is approximately the 25th or the 26th episode of such a series over the last 2 years. This is the ninth episode in this year. And the idea is to get as many people to share their experiences as much as possible. Not as much as an achievement based podcast, but essentially the stories, the aspects of where it started. And today's podcast is a very interesting starting point. Somebody calls me and says, I want you to be a part of a networking meeting. And me being me says yes, and I meet Varija there, and then essentially we keep in touch after about 4 or 5 months of that meeting. And also we are here today, and welcome Varija for this conversation. And I think it is, and sometimes the story behind the podcast, the story that led us to the podcast, is as interesting as the person itself. So welcome to this podcast.
Thank you, Sunil. Thanks for having me here. So, how are you doing, Sunil?
I am doing fantastic as usual. So that's how it usually goes. The usual is fantastic, and I'm sure that for you also on a Saturday afternoon, it's been an interesting timeline.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thanks for that. Yes.
Yes. So I know you're a Hassan native, moved all across the world, all across India. Aspects of being an army wife, then now running Tatsavi, you're part of so many interesting conversations as such, multiple networks, you continue to meet new people. So I would leave that space there and say, if you were to introduce yourself without telling where you're from, none of your educational accolades, how do you introduce yourself?
Okay. So, in that case, I would say I'm a very much people person. I love to talk to people, and especially knowing their perspective of personal and professional growth. So I'm a huge big fan of lifelong learning, and that is what I want to inspire in others also. And I get inspired from others whenever I listen to them. Yeah, so this is me. So yes, so I'm here today to share all my stories with everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, what's your favorite story to share?
What's my favorite story? Yeah, I definitely want to share one of the stories which changed my life in a very young age. Nonetheless, it is full of emotions also. But my way of looking at it changed the whole perspective of life and what I have to pursue in my life, and the purpose was I found it there in that story. And rather, I should not call it as a story. It's an incident, so full of emotions.
Would you like to share it with us?
Yeah, it was in probably year 2002. Like as you already mentioned that I'm an army lady. So my husband was serving in army then. We were posted in Punjab, and one of the regiment person who was very close to our heart, his name was Mohan. He sacrificed his life for the country, and that incident, like shook all of us. And when I met the ladies, and especially his wife, his family, when I shared this news with other soldiers' wife, and looking at their condition and emotional journey, I mean, it brought me, first of all, it's very disturbing, and but it brought me kind of, question in myself, like, what am I doing to them? So that is where, and the first time I was 24 then, back then, 23 or 24. But at that age, I felt that I should be of some use for these ladies one fine day. I don't know how. And back then, I did not know how, like in what way I could help them. But yeah, that became a purpose in my life, that in some way I need to help these ladies to find an opportunity in this world and to educate them as much as I can. So, yes, from there, I followed that purpose, and somehow I looped my education experiences with that. And I'm glad that today in my company, Tatsavi, I have soldiers' wives and I have a war widow also. They're all serving country, our children, through different projects, what we take on.
I think I can understand how intense it would have been at that point. Quite a young age to experience that and take it up. But I am, you said you are part of Amritsar, Pune, Jammu, quite a lot of places. And for somebody like me who's never had an experience of what it is to have an experience like an army, all of our possibly people lot like me, their only way of understanding what an army life looks like is purely through the movies, and we are 90% sure it is not always how it is shown in there. So a sneak peek into what happens there and how was your experience.
Yeah, it's a very what to say, it brings always a mixed kind of experience to your life. In one way it is a complete life because you're traveling along your husband across the country. You're getting exposure to different culture. You're meeting so many people, you're working with leaders. So in that way it's a very complete life. And yes, you're enjoying parties like how you see in the movies. So in that way also we definitely enjoy, but nonetheless it brings a lot of challenges. So every 2 years we will be getting posted from places to places, and in every place we shift our houses at least 2 times in a tenure. So in that way it involves a lot of being organized, and uh, everything like how to pack a house, to unpack a house will be on your fingertip. That again leads to changes of many schools for our children. Yes, so there is also one part, and the emotional part is we always get separated from our friends. Sometimes we catch up them in next station, but sometimes we do not. What brings all of us together in an army community is the sisterhood. Me being a lady, when I meet another army lady, we do not need any introduction. We go through similar situations. We see and experience, and we listen about a lot of bloodshed and loss of life, all these things. So this is what brings us together, and this is where it's a very close knit family also. Yes, it is charming like how you see in the movies, but it has a lot of challenges, it has a lot of emotional challenges especially. But army has everything to offer.
Mhm. So you answer the question, but you didn't answer the question also. So it's like it is the movies, but it is not like the movies. So you
Yes.
said families, and how was it basically growing up in Hassan while you were studying or in your younger days?
Yes. So, yes, I'm born and brought up in Hassan. I completed my graduation there. I'm from a family of all educators, where my father, my aunts, and uncles, every second person, probably 70% of my family is full of teachers. Um, I mean, it was like my grandparents used to speak in Sanskrit. The influence is more on us of that culture and education and everything. Um, of course, I was not so studious, but I was always into learning something new. I'm very much towards skill development, right from younger age. So rather than studying math or science or history, I always wanted to experience it in my real life. I wanted to recognize those concepts around me. I wanted to be very kinesthetic with that. So that is my education part. And yeah, Hassan is a small town and where everybody knows you and you know everyone. Um, but something interesting, I tell you, like when I was growing up, whenever I used to study a social study chapter, especially a history chapter where you read about different places of the country, right? I always used to write it on a note paper or notebook saying that I want to travel all these places and experience, not reading, just reading in the textbook. And even when I came to the college, when I was doing my BSc, so I used to write literally that not just only reading these textbook and I want to educate children, I want to have something my own in education. I think these things came in me because of the influence of the family and the surrounding in Hassan. Yeah.
Interesting. The naughty radar basically switched on as soon as you said I came from a space of educators. So did you copy at any point in the examination?
No.
Now, is that because it was not in your mind, or it is not like it is not supposed to be done?
Correct.
It's an interesting space, and also because they say that also I don't know how much of a the storytelling it is, that people who come from kids who have people as educators as parents, so they end up being not great in academics. Was that the case?
Just come again. I'm sorry.
How good were you in academics, considering that there was
Um, uh, I can say average, average student, because like how I said, it was something different than writing an exam for me.
absolutely, and I think that there's a lot to share there. So, what's your favorite memory from school or college or growing up?
Okay, my favorite memory from school days is I was in probably grade six, and we were preparing for school day, that is annual function. And I was supposed to get a sari for a dance, and my teacher asked me to get a either polyester or a silk sari. So now I asked my mom for a silk sari. She said she refused. She said silk sari for an annual function and just to practice, I'll not give you. I'll give you a polyester sari. I said okay, fine. Anything is fine with me. I was folding that sari and I just saw one spark, coming out of it. I thought, oh, when it is, when there is a friction and the spark is, I can see a spark. So it was like one aha moment for me, one eureka moment for me. And then I went to my teacher and I explained her everything. So first of all, probably she was busy with all these annual day function and everything. But she said, okay, now whatever you have discovered, let it be a discussion for later. Let's concentrate on the dance. And after dance, she literally folded again. She showed how the friction causes that, that spark. So that is really was like, was showing me how a teacher should be. Yeah, so we should be the one who never neglects any child's discovery, though it's a old discovery on the earth. That always comes to my mind, and I really thank my teacher for that. And in college, my best memory is the churmuri vendor outside the college.
I think you will have we will have most watched moment here because I think this is exactly what college was about. I don't think
Yes.
I went there to study. It was I think mad rush to make sure you're eating whatever you sent from home and as much as possible before the break closes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And sugarcane juice.
Interesting. And also possibly in another interesting space. So growing up, possibly when there were less phones and less access to communication as such. So how is that? How's that timeline?
Oh, it was great where we were talking to real people, real emotions and meeting physically and feeling so sad when we were saying bye. I think that is the life one should live. I mean, all the people who are who have lived this life are blessed for sure. And even in holidays, going around rather than just scrolling and looking at the pictures, uh, going around the village or different city. Me being in Hassan, coming to Bangalore itself was a big thing for us. Sitting in a bus and then traveling, and in the middle way, getting down and buying one ice cream, and then reaching Bangalore. And after reaching my uncle's home, my uncle used to write a letter to my parents saying, "Okay, she has reached safely." That itself is a big memory.
And that would take its own time to reach your parents.
Re- Correct.
Somebody was saying yesterday, saying, "Oh, now we played like summer is here, no? So we played like crazy, and my parents did not look at where I was, who I was with, and they knew we would come home. Now, if we have to send somebody to even a 15 minutes delta from our house, we'll give them a phone, talk to them where you, what's happening, did you reach, did you not reach." So such a slow life, but such a rich life at that point of time.
Correct.
Very,
That's right.
very interesting. And you also said this saying from Hassan to Bangalore itself was such a journey. And then you say you went to Amritsar, Pune, Jammu, all across. So how was it as a young girl from Hassan to moving all across the world, getting possibly exposed to so many languages and so many people, so many food, culture, etc., etc.
Yes, it was fantastic, Sunil. I mean, I really miss that life now. But yes, even now I have a lot of friends from that background. We keep traveling. Um, I tell you one story, one funny story that happened with me when I went to Amritsar for the first time. From Hassan, I went to Amritsar. It was summer. And back then, in probably in 2000s, I have never seen summer kind of weather in Hassan, right? It used to be very cool and then rainy and then cool, not like Punjab. So when I entered that area, army camp, I saw one huge big box outside every window. I was wondering why everybody's keeping one iron box outside the window. I don't know what it is. Um, okay, we went to the guest room, and there was also one, big iron box. So then I figured out there is a fan also inside. So till that time, I didn't know it's a cooler, no room cooler. That was the first time I discovered room cooler. And then I discovered, okay, fine. So this is where we put water and then we switch on the fan, and this is the requirement. But it was very silly, funny. Back then I was asking my husband why everybody has kept one dabba outside their window. So he said that without this dabba, you cannot survive here. Yeah, so that is the way I discovered cultures, and I fell in love with all kind of food. Though I'm not a foodie, but yes, it was very different from what we have. We have been practicing at home. Yes, I got exposed to different languages, culture, people, how they think, how they act, react, everything. And it is, I feel it's a complete life when I see. It's not only because of meeting people, it's because of seeing different culture. So when you visit any place, you eat the local food, you meet local people, you know them, they know you. There will be exchange of synergy. So that is knowing other part of the country, other part of life, and it's a wonderful experience.
Interesting. So you said that's a funny story in terms of okay, what is the dabba all about outside? Any other stories of how it was when you made the transition, jumping from one city to another? Uh, what do you remember about? Uh, some of those experiences?
Yeah, that is the first one, and the last one when we came out of the army was when we were posted in Delhi. From Delhi, we came to Bangalore. Okay, so um, there was one person who was helping me in packing the house and everything. Um, Probably he did not know that I'm from Hassan, and he's from Karnataka. Probably he didn't know, and maybe I did not introduce myself in that way. We were all busy in packing and everything. Um, so when I spoke to my husband or probably my parents in Kannada, he was like, "No, you're shocked. Oh, madam, you're from Karnataka. You're a Kannadiga. Then why are you leaving this place?" I said, "Okay, now we have to leave, but we'll keep coming." But he said, like, being from outside, coming here and staying here, when you see a person from your place, when you are in Delhi or anywhere outside, it brings such a joy. You get attached to that place through that incident, through that person, and to that person through that place. You understood that. So this is how, I mean, this is the last thing which happened to me. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that is true in terms of how we meet people, how places become
Yes.
markers, how memories become more important for us is definitely through connections. And I think the language connection is a very strong space that puts us saying these are our people, people who we can relate
Yes.
to, and that
Yes.
makes a huge change.
Yes.
And also, Arija, one thing that I also hold from one of the conversations of the first or the second time we spoke was also this whole aspect that army wives are leaders, and I think that that's something that I have not been able to put out of my head. And their role is as important as say the one on the battlefield or one on the front lines.
Of course, it is. It is. um, because here we do take care of soldiers' wives and their family also. So we keep educating them. We conduct different programs, awareness programs, uh, where we are very much a part of it. Day in, day out, we talk to them. It can be any concern, their health, their education, their children's education, and what do they want to do further in their life. So everything happens in a very organized way, and if someone takes interest in that, I mean, of course everybody do take interest. Um, it this is more than a social work for us. This is a community building, where we are helping each other, like how I mentioned earlier. It is sisterhood. It brings people so much closer, and it gives you a push to push them further. That is where you find it as a growth as a person, as a purpose also. And it's everything. You can look at it as a program, as a personality development, or probably professional development. Very one interesting thing I'll tell you, Sunil. So after coming out of army, one fine day I thought, let me just jot down what all I have done in every station, what it has led to, and what was the outcome of it. I just started documenting, not very organizedly, but yes, I touched all the important points. Then I figured out that, oh, this itself is like one social project, where I learned and I made others learned, and in turn I learned more. Yeah, so this is like amazing thing. It's a self discovery kind of thing.
Thing. So what were you doing as part of the whole program? So you used to work as a team and then help each other.
Yeah.
Basically, that was that.
So yes. So if we have to create any awareness program, like say for example about a health program, right? So there will be a monthly meeting where all these activities happen. If the theme of the month is creating awareness about health, we make them understand how to take care of their hygiene, health, nutrition, and menstrual cycle, and their children's health, everything. So in this way, first we discuss among ourselves of Survive that how the content should be and how it has to be presented, how the Q&A should go, and how the learning should happen for them and even for us. So then we talk to them in a meeting, we create all this awareness. And this is how it happens every month.
Oh, so month on month, you have something that you are delivering for all of them that are there. Hmm.
Yes, yes,
Fascinating experience. And how long did you do that for?
for 14 years,
Wow. So 14 years into 52 weeks. Not 12 months.
12
It's
months, yeah.
crazy, crazy. So I can sort of see how, that educator in you was being the seeds of that space was at home, then also at the army, and then how did Tatsavi basically get born?
Okay, so the story of Tatsavi is now I sit and connect all the dots. Right now, it's very clear to me why it happened with me. So for 12 years, I worked as a teacher. Wherever we were getting posted, I used to work either in army school or in private schools. So in that way, I get to learn more about how people look at education or a textbook or a teacher in different geography and different demography. Um, After we came and settled down here in Bangalore for another 2 years, I worked as teacher, and then I switched as TLM creator, teaching learning material creator, and then I joined social sector where I was heading 400 plus rural schools. I was the academic head. So when I was the academic head, when I used to deal with 10 different state boards, I exactly knew how this content or education material will be treated in this particular state because I was experienced in that region. So in that way, it helped me a lot in delivering better. And then I joined an edtech company as vice president, where I see different perspective of the education. Then I was like, okay, now I got experience as teacher and different positions. Now it's a high time I should start my own company where I can loop in people who have trained inside and outside the army. And I can definitely pool in them to bring different products and perspective so that we can better the education system. So that is where in 2023 I started Tatsavi. So we got into content creation for publication houses, teacher training, and creating different programs, leadership programs for students and educators. So it has started with a good note. Like how I said, my team is growing now. And yeah, I'm happy that, whatever I made purpose of my life, I'm trying to live up to it. Yeah. So this is how
Interesting.
it happened.
Interesting. So you said you were part of the social sector, 400 plus government schools. How was that experience? What were you doing there in terms of training material or teaching material?
Okay, so I was heading academics of this sector of this NGO, where we used to engage volunteer teachers in creating content and connecting them to remote schools.
Hmm.
So in between, we were responsible of creating that repository of teaching learning material. It can be a lesson plan, it can be a worksheet or a questionnaire in different languages. And then we used to train teachers also. So during that time, during COVID, we brought our own bridge curriculum to address the learning loss uh, which happened during COVID. That itself was a biggest, I should say, learning and achievement for me. Then I learned how to create courses for teachers. Then I learned how to train people who are not from teaching background but passionately want to take up this with any children. So these things were learning as well as an achievement for me. And at every stage, even the NGO was fantastically supported me and encouraging. And yes, I got it vetted from outside also, so that I should not be committing any mistakes there. So yes, so this is the way the NGO helped me in growing, shaping up that program creator in me.
That's a very interesting space. I don't think people sort of understand the whole aspect of what goes into India's education, or what goes into education sector at all, in terms of the plans that they get to make, the material that they get to work with, and this. So, what was the most important aspect of your uh, material apart from? We all know that right now marks, occupy the entire lens of what education is. Uh, as an person in that working in that sector, what are we missing?
Um, we are missing two things. One is social emotional connection, and second one is skill development. So when I say social emotional learning, like for example, division. Let's talk about a simple division concept in math chapter. So when we are introducing the division, it can be introduced as sharing also. Yeah. So it can be met with different emotional angles, like somebody who has three pieces is sharing one piece with a kid who doesn't have. We can bring different perspectives. In a paragraph writing, we can talk about many issues that are we need to address. It can be equality, it can be gender equality in education, uh, anything, or understanding each other's perspective and respecting them. When I say skill, we do reading and writing a lot in our education system, right, which is very good. So apart from and reading and writing, we can see it in a different angle where a child can be um, taken to a point where he or she is researching about some material and recording it also. So in that way, it improves the researching skill as well as recording skills also. And when we say that a teacher has to inculcate public speaking, it is not only public speaking, it is how a child has to communicate within peer, outside the classroom, and outside the school, right? So the way of presenting, the way of talking, all these skills has to be inculcated within the system. So then the child will take it out confidently.
It's an interesting aspect that you bring it out. I'd never seen the questions that we had in our this thing saying, okay, division can be sharing, or give, somebody gives it two mangoes to four people, how much in they each get. I think that question mark now looks a little interesting, even in terms of, okay, what are the concepts that were being subtly put into play, even at that space. That's an interesting space, and I think we've talked about how your space of experience of growing up, moving up through the experience chain, and then getting to Tatsavi. But if again I asked you, saying initially saying no accolades, how do you define yourself? So if there are two, three pivotal stories that says, oh, if I know Varja, I know this. What are those pivotal stories?
Okay, so pivotal stories.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, like I keep putting all these things on LinkedIn. But anyway, I'll share something which is very very close to my heart. Okay, so once what happened was I was challenged in one of the organization. So we were all sitting in a meeting and we're discussing about what has happened in monthly and quarterly, the improvements and everything. Um, then suddenly something happened where the the owner of the organization just said that, uh, I don't know why I hired you. I really don't know. Let's just change this lady. So I was like, what's happening? I did not know. I didn't understand why, what's happening. So then he said, you're not understanding. You're still just, just talking too much like a teacher. So you need to understand that you have to talk figures and you have to talk, strategies. I said, okay. Then I thought, for that minute, I did not know how to react. I just kept quiet. It was very, I don't know how to put it now. But it was, I thought it's okay. Let me just cool down myself first and let me understand what went wrong. I just shifted from place to place and from a different place to that place and changed the organization. And probably I'm from a different kind of, background, and a whole lot of differences were there. So probably that happened. But nonetheless, I felt probably something is required in me where I have to work on. I took it as a challenge. I took it as a challenge and I just started writing. I still remember for 3 to 4 days, I was just writing my emotions, what happened and why this person, whatever he commented on my work, why did he comment? And then I figured out, okay, this is how I need to bridge the gap in my skills. So I made 3 columns: how I have to be as a person, how I have to be as a professional, and how I need to, pull it together. So from then, I think I took 2 to 3 months, day in, day out. I started recording each and every work, how I used to do, and how the other managers used to do. And I used to do a study like how they are doing and how am I doing, and how much I have to improve, in what way I have to improve. I did not leave, Sunil. I mean, this is the incident which changed me totally. I joined courses, I joined different, I don't say course, but yeah, speaking classes, communication classes. And I took 3 months. I was so actively participating in every meeting, and in every conversation, in every emails and everything. And whatever goal I set for myself, I disciplinedly followed, and I was there. And I was there. And after 3 months, that person said, okay, I did not expect the so much of improvement you shown. Yeah, at that point of time, I thanked him also. But yes, so this is what I have done whenever a challenge is thrown on me. So this is my quote. Literally, I quote myself everywhere that self efficacy is the backbone of the purpose. So if you have a purpose and if you bring yourself discipline, self efficacy, nothing can beat you.
That's an interesting story, I think. Yeah. So, in terms of that determination, that drive, that possibility, if something needs to be done, it needs to be done, and it needs to be done right. It needs to be done completely. So, all that
Yes.
aspects. Yeah, I think fascinating story.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. And
Interesting.
this is what I really want to, younger generation to pick up. Not because of me, not because of my story, but these leadership qualities, like, our Indian schools are really well equipped with these, but they have to figure it out, a way to inculcate qualities of self-motivation, self-discipline in children. So that these skills remains with them for lifelong.
Think that investment in terms of leadership in young India needs to happen right now. I think needs to happen yesterday, but if not yesterday, it needs to happen now.
Yes, yes.
And I think the challenges that the kids are facing is multifold. I don't think we had challenges like social media addiction. So we did not have that. That's a separate beast altogether. I don't think we had aspects of climate change affect us so severely. So if now we
Correct.
complain saying, "Oh, kids don't play outside," you look at the temperature outside. Kids like we don't even want to walk outside, leave alone
Yes.
kids.
I agree.
So there's a separate syllabus has changed. Kids then, kids now. I think the aspect of full throttle that we are going to say, oh, we will provide the entirety of the world's workforce, to now saying how will the workforce work for us right now. I think the India first strategy and the younger generation strategy also needs to be really looked into, and I am excited to see how NEP sort of fares up. Right, so and because you say you help develop textbook content, you do the revamping, you do the design. I think people like you have a lot of responsibility and a lot of challenges ahead of you as well.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And nonetheless, this Gen Z has a lot of potential in them. I see, they have content everywhere, like how you said, uh, right content are also there, like,
Mhm.
that access is easy. I do agree that some part of the world is still yet to get that access. I do agree. But yes, when you consider an average school in a tier 2 city, they do have access for everything. They know, even if they are spending 1,000 rupees on what they are spending, they have that awareness. If they work on this and wisely invest this 1,000 rupees on some skill development, so or to understand their dreams, their passion, that would be great, I think.
I think also to even I think the challenge is also with teachers to say even that you can dream. I think that is a space that gets there. So I think in terms of the experience and the energy that you brought to the sharing, I think is a lot of very intense energy in terms of what has been your experience, and how it has changed from that young kid in Hassan getting down in Bangalore eating ice cream to now enabling NGOs and enabling the education sector to look at their content and change that, or be a part of the India Shining story, right? So that's a fantastic journey in itself, and of all the experiences and experiments that I've gone through, and how polyester sarees have different sparks. So somewhere along the line, the teachers make a lot of difference. So possibly as we close, who's your favorite teacher?
um My favorite teacher is from Hassan. He's no more, unfortunately. He passed away a few years back. His name was Shante Gowda. He taught math to us when we were in PU. I'm a huge big fan of him. Uh, Not only teaching math, but he used to push girls, saying that you people should be working. I mean, just don't get married after graduation. Just work. Uh, Within whatever possible, time. He every day he used to tell this, and he's my favorite teacher.
I think there'll always be one teacher who inspires us, puts us to that space where we've never even thought of looking at. And rest as they say is history. Good. So, any closing statements from your side, Varsha, in terms of anything you would like to share for all of us listening?
Um, for people who are listening to us, first of all, thanks a lot for listening to me. Secondly, for younger generation, if you have not found your purpose, please do find. Okay, there are different ways through which you can find your purpose. For somebody, it can be journaling. For somebody, it can be just talking to different people, imagining yourself in a different position, probably. Yeah, so but find and work on it, because this is the generation who can pursue their passion. For all those who have found their passion and purpose, stick to it. It's a huge, big roller coaster journey. Uh, you will be there. So don't give up easily. That's so you, and you have to live your purpose and passion.
Absolutely. I think that statement in terms of live with it and get through with it, I think that that's the hardest part of running a
Yes,
passion-based
yes,
space.
yes.
And yeah, I think all of us are right now, I think over a period of time now blessed with saying, okay, this is my passion and my passion can become my profession. And yeah, so to that young India, we say welcome and take it up. And I think also there's a slightly experienced India, pushing the younger ones to go forward and to have
Correct.
people like you be a part of it. That's also a space to say, the right people are there at the right places. So thanks, Varija, for your time today in terms of what your experience was, the bandwidth of what you shared, and I think people will love that. There are different parts that I
I
think
hope
that
so.
will resonate to different people,
Yes,
and
yes.
I think so. Thank you for your time today, and see you once again. I think there are more interesting episodes with you. We have just touched the surface today.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Sunil. Thanks for having me here. Thanks, everybody who are listening to us. Thank you.